All right, welcome to the Grown Up Show, everybody. We're being a grown up as always, up for debate. My name is Danny Barros, alongside my good buddy Tony Hall.
That was weird, bro.
See what I did there? Threw in the Tony. I see. It got me thinking the other day. Like a couple people call me Daniel, and I'm just like, I don't really like I don't really go by my full name. I've always been a Dan or Danny guy. And then I'm just like, I know a lot of people who are the other way, like you. Like you've always been an Anthony guy. You've never been a Tony guy. You know?
It's really funny because you've always been Danny to me, but at the same time you've also been Dan. But like, it's Dan to me hasn't been like it's like a lot of like my family call me Ant, short for Anthony. Like Dan is not short for Daniel to me. Dan is short for Danny to me, right?
Yeah,
so it's like your name to me is still, even though your official name is Daniel, to me it's Danny. And then like sometimes I'll be like, oh, shut up, Dan, just like for short, like, but the Tony thing's always been an interesting thing to me because I've had, my name is so generic. I feel like I have all these random ass nicknames, and it's funny because a lot of people call me Tony, but it's always work related. And then
it's so funny you mentioned that, dude. Go on.
So, and it's fine. It doesn't bother. When I was a kid, I used to hate it when people called me Tony, and I have no idea why. Because I actually kind of don't mind it, and I've kind of grown to almost prefer it. But I feel like it's too late in my life to call all my family members. Hey, by the way, I need you to start calling me Tony. So,
it'd be a little weird.
Yeah. So, but every job, it's people have gravitated towards Tony. I mean, I've just been like, yeah, whatever. I don't really care. I mean, I register it, so it's all the same. But it's funny when like I introduce like a coworker to a family member and they say Tony, and my family member is always like, what? Who's Tony?
Yeah.
So, but the other thing that's funny, which I think I might have mentioned this in the past, but maybe not. My last name's Hall. I've always introduced myself as Anthony, but my friends like you're actually one that I've had this exact scenario I'm going to explain happen with. Is my close friends, my close friends call me Hall, just for short. It's easier, one syllable. I get it, and it's been my
had it on your back,
Yeah,
that's how we remember.
But it's been really what my true nickname is, or short name is. People just call me Hall.
Yeah.
But sometimes, especially this happened a lot in high school and right out of high school, going to parties and stuff. Perfect example, you with Sac State going to a bunch of parties up there, you're introducing me to your buddies as, oh, this is my buddy Hall. And then as the night goes on, Hall slowly turns into Paul. And then at that point, it's like, let's rewind here. Let me break this down for you. Because now it's just like, you're way off. Okay. My name is Anthony. My last name is Hall. People call me Hall for short. Paul has nothing to do with me. I actually have an uncle named Paul who's the biggest piece of shit in life. So I'd rather you not call me Paul. So, yeah. So I have all these nicknames. I have one brother used to call me Antoine, which turned to Twan. I have a few people that call me Twan. A bunch of people call me Ant, Anthony, Tony, Hall, Paul, you name it, dipshit, whatever.
It's been done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that about work though, like how they call you Tony, because like I kind of have the opposite happen to me, where it's like you put your full name on the application, okay, and people don't understand, that you might be called something else, obviously, so they call you by the full name, Daniel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then for me, it's like, okay, like in my current job, it's like my immediate like department knows I go by Dan because like I talk to them, and it's just like, hey, Dan, or I introduce myself, hey, my name's Dan, on the first day. So they know me as Dan. But every other department, email comes through as Daniel, right? Because it's like that's how they put me in the system. And so every other department I go to, it's like I'm Daniel to them, and I'm just like, I have to remember that that's me, that they're talking about me. Like okay, yeah, like that's fine. And no matter, these are people who I've emailed with so many times, and I always sign my name, Dan. Like like I don't sign Daniel. It's just really weird. But like, so I'll go way back to high school though with this, because like I had a funny story. I used to work at a restaurant here in Pacifica. I was a busboy. Got the job when I was like 15. Okay, like and same thing. Like name's Daniel on the application, and so the woman who's like the manager is like walking me through the kitchen. All the Mexican guys, Latino guys, whatever, all the cooks and sous chefs in there. It's like I'm shaking hands, and like she's like introducing me as Daniel, and for whatever reason, they thought she was saying Manuel. because I'm like walking back in the
Oh
kitchen
my
later,
gosh.
and they're like, hey Manuel, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, like, hey, what's up? This you guys being hella nice. Like, I'm just gonna roll with this. Like, it's fine, you know. And then they're not like talking like this to the other busters, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool, you know. And like, we used to be like, you could only get a few things on the menu as an employee, and like, because my name was Manuel, like chef was like offering me like if I wanted like leftover prime rib or like whatever it was,
Oh
and I was
my
like, this is sweet, man. Like, you know, out
oh.
there in the dining room, I'm Daniel, and here I'm Manuel. It's like this is working out for me, you know. And then it's like, and then like I think like a year later, I corrected one of the guys, and he's like, don't worry about it, Manuel. You know, he just kept calling me Manuel.
No biggie. I'm gonna start calling you Manuel. That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
great, dude. That's
yeah.
what's that called? What's the term when you are it's a big thing that's been thrown around lately. I'm drawing a blank on it. I think I have a concussion, and we're gonna get into that story in a second, but
Yeah, yeah.
I need to remember this
Or
damn
like
word.
politically correctness or
No,
something.
it's when you're like acting as another race.
Oh,
What is
oh,
that damn word?
yeah. I don't know, but
That's what you
you
totally
know,
did. Whatever that
I wasn't
word
trying to
is.
do it in a negative way, but you
No,
know,
you did it in a positive way to get better food. That's I think
it
that's
worked. You
totally
know,
acceptable.
it worked. But I mean, but it's interesting though. Still, the names. It's like anytime anybody introduces themselves as Michael to me, I'm always gonna call you Mike. Like that's
Yeah.
just who I am. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
never
I'm the
gonna
same
call you
way.
Michael. You know, or Jeffrey. I'm never gonna call you Jeffrey. Like it's
Yeah.
just like that's just what it is.
So
But
here's the thing with those types
you
of
know,
names, and even with your name, like the super, like, I don't want to call your name generic, but you know the very standard names,
right,
Daniel,
right.
Michael,
It's
the
not too
people
unique
that
these days.
that go by the full name like that, they're usually douchebags.
Or there's
I've
just
come
something
to like,
off-putting about them. You know, it's like,
yeah. Well, like
you know,
because I've had that interaction where like I've been like, hey, my name. I've been introduced to someone, they're like, my name is Michael, and I'm like, hey, Mike, nice to meet you. It's Michael. Oh,
yeah,
so you're a
yeah,
douchebag, basically.
yeah. So you're one of those Michaels,
Yeah.
okay? You know,
Well, listen here, Michael. Yeah. I
but
don't know.
yeah, I
It's just a
mean,
vibe I get.
I get it. It's a preference. You want to be called a certain thing, but it's just, you know, it's like I feel like shortening a name or a nickname like offers a different level of like intimacy with somebody. And sometimes when it's like somebody you don't know very well, you kind of need that as like an additional icebreaker to like
Yeah.
have a more like casual conversation about certain things. It makes that person feel like you're a little bit more invested in them rather than just like what their name is on their name tag on their surface. You
Yeah.
know, it's like it's a little bit more personable, you know. And so that's why I always do it, and that's why I always feel like, you know, I want people to do it to me because I want the feeling to be reciprocated, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but
For sure.
anyway.